Social justice doesn't pay. The concept of get woke, go broke, we all know it. It's a fact. And that's really hurting the comic book industry right now. It's not entirely their fault that they're failing right now, but it's a core part of it. Due to the coronavirus, Diamond Comics won't ship comic books anymore. I'm hella late to the party, but I'd figured I'd still talk about it. If we look back on 3/27/2020, Cosmic Book News published the article Comic Book Market Collapses, Pencils Down. At the time, the article states that Pencils Down only affects indie comic books creators. However, Marvel has also put a Pencils Down order for 1/3 of its output. We don't yet know how they're going to get the other 2/3 of its output published, but we can assume that they're going to follow in DC's footsteps and use a large comic chain to publish their things. I believe that DC is currently using Midtown Comics to distribute the books. Last I checked. So comic book shops are hurting right now, as in bleeding money, and they are shutting down. According to Bleeding Cool, Show Enough Comics in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Blue Moon Comics in San Rafael, California, and Purple Turtle Comics in Vallejo, California are all shutting down. I've looked at Google, and you can see a list of comic book shops. They are just shutting down. Like, we see one basically once a week, or two major ones, a few in New York, everywhere here, there. They're just closing because Diamond Comics had a monopoly. That's right, they had a monopoly on distributing comic books, which is just so stupid. So they kind of deserve it at this point. But the comic book pros are trying to save their industry, and because of the lack of customer service, the absolute disregard for people who buy their product, they are not going to make their money. It's just a fact that they treat everyone with a different political opinion like shit. This has been well established. They run blockchains of basically anyone who disagrees with them, and they throw anyone who they don't like out of their industry. And that has resulted in some very bad comic books. I'll get onto that in a moment. However, we see that some comics are doing well. The Blade Devil graphic novel has raised $163,000 on Indiegogo. And it works because it gives fans what they want. I know some people rant about fan service, but fans are the people who spend the money that get your product made. I know that in most commonly, fan service is in the form of a hot woman, and in this case, that is the case. The female protagonist looks hot, I guess. And every SJWs just want everything censored or altered to fit their worldview. They want to sell absolutely retarded shit to you. I mean, take a look at the New Warriors, the latest trash fire that Marvel has created. It's like a revival of some comic book from the 90s and 2000s. We got Screen Time, a, quote, meme-obsessed super teen who inhaled experimental internet gas, which has got to be the dumbest thing I have ever heard. B Negative, a vampire teen with a mildly tolerable character design, but only if he was the villain. A fat tub of lard with her backpack from God with infinite space in it. I have no idea how she's even considered a hero, but she is. And last but not least, get this, Snowflake and Safe Space, two psychic twins with a concerning pose on the cover of the comic. According to the article, Snowflake and Safe Space are the twins, the writer says, and their names are very similar to Screen Time. It's the idea that these terms that get thrown around the internet are very derogatory. They take those words and kind of wear them as badges of honor. Yeah, I don't know if I'd wear these as badges of honor if I was these two fucking autists that look like they're in an incestuous relationship. Marvel Comics has really been the bigger of the two that has fallen. I know DC has published some absolute trash. I can't remember the name, but they're publishing like a Gotham High comic book soon. But this all looks to be trash. The SJWs have infected the comic book industry and have basically sped their toxic mentality as part of what makes comic books. They're more interested in their political opinions on Twitter than they are in catering to the fans, the people who, buy the book. It's absolutely disgusting how they treat fans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Thanks. Try Toos out.